Good evening, and welcome to Service Above Self, a production of the Broadbrook Rotary Club of Connecticut, with support from Rotary District 7890. My name is Jason Doyon, a Rotarian member of the club, and I will be your host for this evening's episode. Tonight we will be speaking with Dale and Jean Roberts of Great Harvest Bread Company in Manchester, Connecticut. Dale and Jean will be speaking to us about how they chose to be bakers and how they bake. Good evening, Dale. Good evening, Jean.
Good evening.
And how are you?
Very well.
We're doing
You?
great.
So the first question that comes to mind is, how long have you been baking?
Dale and I have owned Great Harvest since June of 2003. I've always been a baker at home, making cookies and pies and breads for my kids. So it's something I love to do, and we decided that's what we wanted to do for ourselves.
And how did you make the decision to take the next step, going from being an at-home baker to baking professionally?
Dale and I were customers of Great Harvest. So we used to sit outside and wait for them to open, get some nice fresh hot bread, and we said this is what we really, really wanted to do. I went to school, got a little more education on baking, and we pursued it.
And for our viewers at home, what type of schooling did you go exactly? Is there a specific bakery school, or is there some type of course that you can take?
Actually, I went to Manchester Community College for their culinary arts, and I think it's a very good program, and learned what I thought we needed to do to be able to handle this professionally.
And you found that your education has served you well?
Yes, yes.
And so of all the options that you had available to you, how did you choose Great Harvest?
Again, it was a product that we really loved. We loved the idea that they mill their own wheat, they make everything from scratch, and there's just a variety that we just loved. So it was something we really wanted to do. We also felt Great Harvest is a freedom franchise, so we had a chance to pursue that a little more.
And we had looked around extensively for what we could do, trying to find an outlet to do our own business. And after research and looking at Great Harvest, we really thought it was a good fit with the Freedom franchise.
And for our viewers at home who may not know what a Freedom franchise is, what exactly is a Freedom franchise and how would you define it?
Well, Freedom franchise, unlike a Dunkin' Donuts or a McDonald's, allows us to decorate, be our own management without the dictation of a central office saying you have to advertise this way, or you have to make this product, or you have to buy this piece of equipment. Each of the bakeries across the country, and there's about 240 Great Harvests today, they all operate within this Freedom franchise model. And a bakery in Manchester is going to look a lot different than a bakery in Kentucky or Salt Lake City or Anchorage, Alaska. They all have the ability to create the design of their business the way they want to.
So in other words, you have the option of operating your location independently, so to speak, in the manner that you see fit, while at the same time having the benefit of the Great Harvest name.
Yes.
Absolutely. You're gaining the benefit of the Great Harvest name, but you're also gaining the benefit of working with an outstanding group of individuals across the country. And they have such a diverse way of running their bakeries, between getting recipes and learning how to make a new product, or even offering a product maybe that was never been offered in the Northeast before. The knowledge base is just phenomenal.
And how do you go about advertising and really getting the word out to people about your location? How do you advertise? How do you get customers?
We don't do many advertisements, say in newspapers and things like that. We do a lot of volunteer work. We do a lot of donations. We will donate 15, 20 loaves to a local charity, to a health-related organization, to a church that's having a spaghetti dinner. We'll try and get our product out to help the community. From that, they taste our product, they know we've donated, and they come to us.
And we'll do charitable, a lot of charitable donation. We'll go and we'll slice bread at the Walk for
Relay for Life.
Relay for Life.
March of Dimes.
March of Dimes. Yeah.
Different cancer related funds.
And we give the bread away. We don't, and that's the model that we enjoy doing marketing-wise. To put a piece of bread in somebody's hand and have them taste it, to us does more to draw them back into the bakery than purchasing time on a radio or print. We just seem to get more out of just putting it in their hands and offering it to them.
That's wonderful, and certainly a very positive way to have a positive impact on your community.
It is.
And in relation to that, how do you go about the day-to-day business of running a bakery?
Our day starts very early. I start at 3:30 in the morning. We start making our bread completely from scratch, so you're creating a sponge part of the bread, your yeast, water, honey, flour. We make 7 to 8 different kinds of bread every day. Dale comes into the bakery about 4:30, 5 o'clock, and he runs our mixer, and he creates the full dough. And then we put all the bread one by one on the kneading table. Each one gets cut to size. We knead all our bread from scratch, by hand. Goes into the oven. Bread is usually out of the oven anywhere between 8 and 9:30. So it's a long process from starting from 3:30 to 9:30.
Each bread takes about 5 hours in itself from beginning to end to follow through the whole process. We space them 10, 15 minutes apart, and it keeps a nice assembly line process going. And at each stage of the making the bread process, it will just start to form and rise and fall and just become bread, and the smell starts to get great. And by the time it's ready to be kneaded on the table, we lift it up and we'll cut it, slice it, weigh it out.
And we make between 180 and 250 loaves of bread a day, depending on the day.
It's a lot of bread, I can imagine.
Yes. And
Yes.
that's just bread, but we also make cookies and scones, quick breads. We do a lot of different mixes. We make pancake mix and
Talk to us a little more about the quick bread exactly. What exactly is a quick bread? For someone like myself who doesn't necessarily have the expertise to bake a full bread.
a quick bread is a non-yeasted bread, so it's more of a cake. Like you would make banana bread at home, it's like that. But we make quite a variety. We also make muffins from the same batter. So we make a banana bread, we make a cranberry orange bread, a blueberry chocolate fudge brownie bread, lots of different, then they're non-yeasted.
So for someone like myself who doesn't have any type of technical baking background, burns most breads he makes, quite frankly. The quick bread, is it a very simple and easy
Yes.
to follow process?
Yes, it would be something like you would make at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, very easy to make.
Also known as a batter bread, and it's pourable, and you can make it in a muffin form or a pan form, and it puts a product available to the customer very quickly. So if they come in early in the day and we're not quite ready with the first bread to come out of the oven, which is probably about 7:30. We do have something available for them to purchase. And also scones and cookies. Those are also ready to go at about 7:30.
And how many people would you say come through your doors on an average day? Obviously, you have a lot of bread that you're making on a daily basis. Do you ship it anywhere, or is it all?
We sell
they all
everything
walk-in
in the
customers?
store. Yeah, they're all walk-in.
We ship all over the country.
Yeah, for special orders.
Our bread's gone to India with a couple that loved it so much they had to take it to India with them. I don't know how they got through customs. I think going out they did fine, but they couldn't bring it back in, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But it's been all over. We've also had one of our products go to the top of Mount McKinley. We make a power bar, and this gentleman loved the nutritional content and the energy producing capability of this bar, and it was very light to carry. So he took about 20 bars with him when they went up to Mount McKinley.
And I imagine he sent back a picture of him standing at the top of Mount McKinley
Yes.
with your bar.
Yes.
Well, absolutely, he did. He did.
Yes.
And we had, of course, we had all talked about that, and he made sure that he had a few good shots that showed our product.
Oh, that's wonderful, and that's fascinating to hear some of the different places where your breads have gone.
Yeah.
Dale and Jean, we're going to take a break at this point. When we come back, we're going to talk to Dale and Jean more about their business and about baking.
Salam.
Jam.
Shanti.
We all want the same thing,
Peace.
and Rotary clubs
Salam.
are making it happen through international scholarships to promote peace around the world. Rotary, humanity in motion.
Good evening and welcome back. We're here with Dale and Jean, who are speaking to us about their career as bakers. And we see this evening that they've brought some breads and various products out with them. If you could tell us a little more about the breads that you have with us.
Today we have a honey whole wheat,
This is the honey whole wheat.
sunflower millet flax, that's with our sunflower seeds. Our Popeye, which is got spinach, Parmesan cheese, garlic, and onions in it. Those three breads are actually 100% whole wheat flour that is milled in the store. The other bread is a white cinnamon raisin walnut. And we also have two different kinds of biscotti that we make. One is a vanilla almond with a confectionery sugar, and the other one on the other side is a cafe mocha.
Very nice. And now we see that the loaves are a non-traditional round shape. What is the inspiration behind the shape?
Well, the shape is the easiest for us to make, I'll tell you,
Yes.
kneading-wise. However, we do make a loaf bread. We do have pans, and we will make a sandwich loaf shape bread, and we are making more of them. But Great Harvest traditionally had this bread as the original process. And
I think it bakes evenly, nice and round, and just evenly comes up nice instead of an awkward square that you'd have to put into a pan. So you're getting a nice, even, round bake.
yeah.
Now, is there anything particular about the roundly shaped bread that our viewers should know as far as cutting into it, for example? Is there a specific way to cut into the bread?
Well, there is. There are folks that, of course, like to do a traditional straight-through cut. We do demonstrate a herringbone cut, which is an offset cut like this, and it makes the bread evenly sized pieces, so that making a sandwich, you don't have two different sized breads, as if you were going one single slice across.
And then you're going to get 20 to 25 slices per loaf, and they're more even.
And we see here, in particular, looking at the Popeye bread that you brought, but some of the other breads that you brought as well.
Yeah.
Are there specific times of year that are busier for you than others?
Our busy season starts in September and runs right through to the beginning of the year. Thanksgiving and Christmas, of course, are the busiest. But in the winters, when people start thinking of bread more, Thanksgiving is actually our busiest holiday of the year.
Now, are there particular types of bread that are popular in your busy season?
We do cranberry orange bread, and actually before Thanksgiving we make a stuffing bread, which actually tastes like stuffing. So it's great to make a sandwich and not have to worry about bread, stuffing, turkey.
So for those that love stuffing on a sandwich, we make a sandwich with the stuffing.
Yes.
Sounds delicious.
And a lot of pumpkin type breads, many breads with different cranberries and raisins and sweetbreads for the holidays.
And now, earlier in the program, you had told us that on an average day, you make and prepare and sell approximately 250 loaves. During your busier time of year, what is a more typical output?
We'll make the 2 days before Thanksgiving a total of about 1,700 loaves of bread. So that's like 800 a day.
Pretty much.
Of just of bread, not including all the sweet products.
Yeah. And rolls. We'll produce, how many dozen?
200-300
Two or
dozen.
300 dozen rolls.
Yeah.
That's an amazing output.
Yes.
It is.
And so, seeing that you have those times of year where you get busy, how do you keep up with all the other demands of being a business owner? The behind-the-scenes work, so to speak.
It's interesting. It's a juggle, but like with any business, you find the time to do it. There's bookkeeping that has to be done. There's ordering through the day. There's payroll, and all of that. We decided to do a payroll service, and we also we use QuickBooks for the accounting end. Makes it a lot easier for us to take care of the daily receipts and also monitor the status of the business day to day, week to week, month to month.
Now, I'm thinking of just the sheer volume of products that you bake. How often do you order, and where do you order from?
We have 3 different distributors that I order from on a weekly basis. So there's one that mainly does all our dairy type products, our yeast, eggs and milk and things like that. And another one we do all our flours, seeds, all the different seeds that we need for all our different breads. And there's another company that we use for just some different items that we don't do on a daily basis.
And you find that they're able to get you the products that you need consistently?
Yes, as long as you don't completely run out before you need them. So you want to monitor your weekly, what's going out the door for flour, raisins, nuts, and yeast, things like that. And I try and keep daily lists of what we use and know when I have to reorder so we never run out. And we're ready for a large special order. I always have the ingredients we need.
Now, it sounds like you have an awful lot going on, not only with the baking, but behind the scenes work. How many people do you have working with you all together?
Right now, between production and sales, we have 8 employees. And actually looking for a couple more, but they don't work full-time. They're all part-time employees, so we can rotate them during our busiest times of year, our busier days, and it works out good.
Yeah, and we expect a certain amount of turnover with employees. We promote them if they're going to college or going to school. That's their first priority. And we will work around time schedules to help them move along in their life's goals. Keeping in mind that we have our own goals too, and but when it comes time for them to move along, we encourage it because they're going to the next step in their life, and just as we did.
What advice, wearing the business owner hat for a minute, what advice would you give to someone looking to start up their own business?
First of all, it takes a lot of time, and you have to really expect your life to change significantly with running of a business. There's a lot of attention to detail that you never really thought of before in your normal day-to-day existence. And once you start to work with a business, you see what comes out in the details that really need to be taken care of, because if you let it go, you could cause yourself some big problems. The overall time spent for us in a week, I would say, is 80 hours.
You have to love what you do to be able to put that much time into it. And we do. We love our product. We love the business. We love everything about it. So it's not a chore.
Yeah. And of course we share in the load. That's what makes it easier too. She has her abilities and I have mine. However, we are able to take over for each other if that became necessary, if one of us got sick for a day. So there is some redundancy there.
What words of advice or what would you tell an aspiring baker?
Wow.
That is difficult. If you enjoy it, go for it. Do it. It's a lot of time, a lot of effort. But if you really love what you do it, because you don't want to go to a job that you don't like. It's a lot of time. Enjoy.
I would recommend that they really want to do something. They want to do baking, or they want to do whatever their goal is, that they really desire to do it, and they look thoroughly at what's involved with doing it. Don't just jump in. Do an analysis.
Yeah, research it.
Research what's going on. Ask these owners what their day's like, and it'll give you a lot of insight into whether you want to pursue that as your life's goal.
Mm-hmm.
You made an important point about researching before getting into the business. How long would you say that you researched the business of owning and operating a bakery before you actually jumped into this?
Oh, it's about 2 years.
Yeah.
Really. We both worked at an insurance company, and we knew we wanted to do something else. And 2 weeks after we got married, Jean got laid off. It really pushed the timetable ahead greatly to find something else to do. And my recommendation to Jean was, what do you want to do? Go do it. And she said, I want to go to school. I want to do baking. She did. She then worked in part-time in a bakery locally. And then from there, we really decided that that's what we wanted to do. And it was about 2 years after that it all took place.
And how did you go about finding your current location? I mean, given the process that goes into running and operating a bakery and storing all of the products that you receive from your vendors, how do you find, quote unquote, the right location?
It's an interesting process. When you work with the Freedom Franchise folks, they first of all, they give you a lot of good training, and there are a lot of, it's an excellent resource for establishing your new business. And they will help you in site location. They will help you on your first month's openings. They will show you the best ways to market that new business. And they're really a great resource. One of the things that happened to us from this area is our daughter was still in high school. We didn't really want to move away from the area. So we thought, well, we got to find a spot in Connecticut, but it can't be Manchester, obviously, because it's driven by territory. You're actually sold a territory. And about 2 or 3 weeks after we got accepted by the franchise, they gave us a call and actually said the Manchester store was for sale. So really, we didn't have to go through a build-out process from scratch. We were fortunate enough to find an already running bakery, and a bakery that we were familiar with. And it was a little different from us than some of the startups that happen with Great Harvest.
With that being said, Dale and Jean, thank you very, very much for joining me this evening. Thank you for talking to us and educating us all about a career as a baker. We thank you all for watching this program, and we hope you were able to learn something valuable about this career, and that it may have given you a new idea about a career path. As always, we here at Service Above Self encourage you to find a worthy cause near and dear to you personally and lend a helping hand. Until next time.